Hello, Leo friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Leo August 2023 Astrology Horoscope forecast. This is for you if Leo is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other placement of Leo you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're very late degree Leo friend, so birthday is around August 15th through the rest of the sign, or Leo placement like 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Virgo report, as both the Leo and Virgo reports will have pieces for you very late degree friends. I'm calling the theme of this month 7 soul-quenching strategies for Leo for August, and I'm so excited to share my ideas with you. It is my intention to give you insights into the energetics of this time and before and after, because most astrological transits don't really fit neatly into an actual calendar month, right? So that you can have the best time possible. So that's the intention for my work, and that's the intention for this report. Couple of notes about the month to lay the groundwork for these juicy details we're about to get into. One is to know that we do have more what I call salty aspects compared to sweet ones this month. Nothing to fear here, just means we've got some arguing planets. These are nuisance aspects. They tend to pass quickly, but if you know that they're happening, it will be easier for you to go slowly and carefully, just like you would on a street with road bumps. If you go slowly and carefully, you won't get jostled as much, and your awareness of just knowing that these things are going to be speckled across the month will be helpful. The second thing to know is that we do still have a break from eclipse season, but that's going to end soon. April and May eclipses had a lot of intensity into June. Taurus, Scorpio, me, my stuff, your stuff, our stuff, storylines. Then the new Aries, Libra, which is actually more of a favorable aspect for Leos, began with that black moon eclipse in April. So what we need to know here is that July and August, we've got a little break from the intensity of those eclipse seasons, but just really enjoy that, because we're going to rev up getting into September, then October, November, to have that very probably dramatic conclusion of the Taurus Scorpio eclipse cycle that opened up at the end of 2021. And a continuation of the Aries Libra storylines. Okay, so we've got a little bubble here where manifestations could still happen. You may still be integrating changes and information that came in April, May into June, but just kind of enjoy these moments, because things are going to shift gears here pretty quickly. Okay, so now let's just get right into my 7 soul-quenching strategies for Leo for August. The first is to be bold with your birthday wishes. Okay, so we're delivered right into birthday season here in August, the end of July into August. So happy birthday, Leo friends. I love birthday time. We are more receptive. The universe is more receptive to our desires at this time. And so at birthday time, so I want you to make sure to take full advantage of that. Even if you have another Leo placement, it's not your sun, then the sun crossing over your placement adds warmth and vibrance to your intentions. And so nobody's being left out of this. So the idea here for this soul quenching strategy is to be really bold at this time, okay? Because Pallas Athena is involved here. Pallas Athena is, I call her a multi-goddess. She is, very bold. She just recently got out of Leo. She's now in Virgo, fine-tuning, discerning. And there's just an energy with all of this energy in Leo. Lilith is there, Venus retrograde is there, the sun is there, of just really going big with your wishes, okay? And we'll talk more about what things to be bold with and what things to be more careful with, because, there are caveats with Venus retrograde. But basically, if you're wishing, there's no downside to wishing big. So that's the big first soul-quenching strategy, is to just really go big with your what you're putting out to the universe, because the chances for the message to be heard and for things to come back from those wishes and intentions are really magnified for you at this time. The second soul-quenching strategy for Leo for August is to relax and be an irresistible magnet for your good, okay? So when Venus goes through our first house, or any house, it's usually a really fast transit, but it's a really sweet transit. And it's a time when we are received as more charming, we're more persuasive, we're more, even sometimes we look or feel better, we show up better in photographs. Like this is, it's just a really beautiful, magical time where, everything is, we just become very magnetic to positive feedback, to recognition, to love, to other wonderful things. And since Venus is going in retrograde, it's having this extended time in your first house of your solar chart. So July, August, September into October, you're going to have 4 months of a transit that would usually just blow through in a very short amount of time. So your soul quenching strategy is to relax and be an irresistible magnet for your good. And just know that you might have things come to you easier, which might help you to just scale it back a little bit with your heart, trying or struggling. And that's actually well indicated because both Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde indicate a time, which we have both this month, both indicate a time for you to stop forcing, stop trying to make things happen, and just to sit back and be the spider and wait for things to come to you, just that want to come or that come based on the webs that you've woven already. Right? So enjoy your irresistible magnet status for an extended period of time. This is very rare. Okay, so the third soul quenching strategy for Leo for August is to accept praise. Most of the Leos I know, I have a lot of Leo friends. I'm a fire sign as well, so definitely jive with this energy. Really don't have a problem taking a compliment. And I really appreciate that about a lot of fire energies, where if you're good at something and you know it, that you're just like, take it. But what the universe wants for you, this soul quenching strategy, is to not only receive that compliment, but let it really go deep, to help you heal any issues that are under the surface. We all have things that we are, more troubled about or feel more insecure about under the surface. And this is a time where you can really let in the positive feedback from other people down to a deeper level for really profound healing. You might be inclined to do some healing work for your psyche, for birth trauma, for, your foundational childhood experience. If something happened to you or your parents or someone that was a caretaker to you when you were young, it might be a really good time to delve into how that may be affecting you now, and so you can use the positive support of others to guide you through this journey. Okay, number 4 soul quenching strategy for Leo for August is to put money aside for smoking deals, okay? And to be on the lookout for them, because Venus retrograde tends to bring in the opportunity for really high dollar or high quality value things, including other resources that aren't material or financial, for people to not be putting as much of a value on it because they have the Venus retrograde goggles on, which means sometimes people don't see things clearly. And sometimes people get rid of things of great value for barely anything during Venus retrograde. Okay, so Venus retrograde is from, the pre-transit shadow period begins June 19th, stretches to July 23rd. The actual retrograde is from July 23rd through September 4th, and the post-transit shadow period lasts until October 6th. Okay, so this whole long time, there's more of a chance that something you've really been wanting can be on sale or be a really great deal. So, if you have some extra money, you might want to put it aside, because it's definitely a bargain hunter's delight, and you could get some really fabulous things for a really low amount of money. So this is very, very, very soul quenching. Now, of course, the other side to that, just to be aware of, is that if you are trying to release something of value, know that how you're viewing it now might not be how you're viewing it in a few months, and really seriously consider the fact that you might not be in the right frame of mind to release something, and you might not be seeing it clearly. A couple of points of this, selling a house or an item for a lot less than it's worth just because you want to be rid of it. Or like if you're in the process of a divorce or some kind of settlement, you might want to try to get out of it fast. So you might be willing to give up something that's yours, should be yours. These are a couple of caveats just to be aware of while we're on the topic. That in a few months you might be thinking, oh, what was I thinking? I should have gotten what I deserved in this case instead of giving it away. So just kind of be aware that the same thing that gives you opportunities to be a bargain hunter can also predispose you to selling something of value at a low amount, lower than you should, or giving it away. Okay, number 5 soul quenching strategy for Leo for August is to gather information from financial experts. You've got a major focus on your finances at this time. Venus rules, among other things, money and finances. So Venus retrograde in your sign is putting all of that up for your evaluation. Reconsider everything. Not necessarily the time to make big decisions, right? Because you might not be seeing clearly, you don't have all the information, but it's a time to reevaluate it for sure. And then you've got Mercury retrograde, Pallas Athena, and Mars, the border collie of the zodiac, obsessively bringing focus to your house of finances. So this is a time where you can gather a massive amount of information from experts on financial matters, and you can really up your financial IQ and, set the groundwork for making some really good choices in that arena. Okay, so the 6th soul quenching strategy for Leo for August is to really go with the flow of the astrological tides and heal your nervous system and your cardiovascular system, which of course all of our systems are related. So what I mean here is that there are things that just want to come to you. This is a time for you to back off, as we talked about before. You've got extra special transits of things just flowing into you. And so the more you can just release and let go of the struggle and, whether it's through prayer or whether it's through affirmation or whether it's through other inner work, it's time for you to heal your nervous system, and you've got an amazing opportunity to do that by understanding the astrological rhythms. Okay, so I always talk about tides and the flow of the tides. Right now, the tides are coming in. Things that you did in the past can be showing up on the shore of your beach. Okay, and this is a time for that. Whereas if you try to put a boat out to float, the current's going to take it in back to you on the beach, right? It's not a time to try to push something far and wide or to launch something brand new or to try to get something super long-term set out into the wind, unless it has a high chance for reward but low stakes. The things you want to focus on now are things that could have a great upside, but that don't have a terrible downside if they don't work out. Okay, those are the kind of things to focus on now. And that's part of going with the flow of the tides. So this idea of healing your nervous system, Leo energy, the sign rules the heart and the cardiovascular system. And of course, our nervous system is directly related because if we're nervous about something, our heart rate will increase. And so this might be a time where if you can just let things come to you and stop the striving. It's a wonderful trait of fire signs. Like I said, I have it too. I get it. But in this time, you have a chance to just reset your nervous system, to just relax and to make some obvious choices. If something is presenting to you and it feels okay, just do it rather than trying to strive for the thing next to it. That isn't as easy. There are times for that, but this is not one of them. And if you make that choice to align with the rhythms, you can really heal tremendously, for the future, for now and for the future, and really set some things straight. Okay, so I'm going to give you the number 7 soul quenching strategy, but we are going to talk about some more after this as well. So the number 7 soul quenching strategy for Leo for August is to experiment exuberantly. Okay, so this is a time for experimentation when trying things on, again, with this boldness. There's the key word of boldness, but in a low stakes way. So for instance, if you've always wanted to dye your hair red, do it with hair color that washes out, but try it. If there's something that you wanted to do that's very dramatic, try it in a way that isn't permanent, because then you can experiment very boldly and very freely without having to deal with any downside of the pitfalls of this transit, the what was I thinking, not seeing clearly Venus retrograde goggles, where people try to do something permanent, and then, they're looking back on it and it's not going to be easy to change. So this is a time for you to experiment exuberantly, use all of this beautiful Leo energy that's highly creative. Leo energy rules fun and children and romance. And I like to say it rules bucket list stuff too, because these are your pleasures and your hobbies and things you've always wanted. And a lot of those things can come to you delivered on a silver platter. So just let that happen. Okay, so let's talk about Mercury retrograde a little bit. Mercury is pre-shadow transit, starts August 4th, goes to August 23rd when the actual retrograde happens. Retrograde from August 23rd to September 14th, post-transit retrograde through September 30th. So essentially, August and September are covered in Mercury retrograde as well. So this is a time where the less you schedule, the happier you will be. First of all, because then you won't be on the phone forever trying to reschedule all the things that don't work out. And second of all, it leaves you open to last minute magic, which is something that I've coined as my favorite outcome of Mercury retrograde. A lot of things from the past want to come to you to bless you. An opportunity to connect with somebody that you met in a wonderful way, or somebody that you love, or a relative. An opportunity to go somewhere where you've been before, or that you've been trying to go or wanting to go. Even if you've never been there, it's just been on your mind and in your field. You know, there are so many opportunities. And a lot of these can be last minute. And the more you have yourself scheduled and boxed up, the less you can be available for these last minute, opportunities that come in. If you commit to something in August, try to commit in pencil, not in pen. That will leave the stress off of you. Remember, we're trying to heal your nervous system here, right? That will leave the stress off of you in case these things that come in out of your control or something happens that makes you change your plans. You don't feel as beholden to follow through with something that you said you were going to do. And it's just, good to know that when people tell you they're going to do something, that Mercury might change that, and try to not have too much expectation of people following through at this time, even if they're trustworthy, because it might not be in the flow. So that's just something to know about the transit. Sometimes in the retrograde, it's really hard to see more than a step ahead. Like there's a mist and a fog covering the rest of the path. And if you can let that be okay, just know, well, now's not a time to know about the future. Now's not a time to, plan for the future. I mean, you can plan in small ways, but you can't make exact plans in certain ways. You can be working towards a dream or an ideal or an idea, but you just can't see that far ahead. And information is coming in sometimes every day that is changing what you thought you wanted or what you thought you were going to do. So you can relax and have a really great Mercury retrograde by not letting this be a problem for you. Just knowing that now's not the time for planning. I can't tell you how much easier these transits can be just knowing that. I've been studying and tracking and experimenting with these transits for decades now. And I have so much less frustration than I used to when I would just try to force something to make it happen and apply my usual fiery nature in a time that is just not appropriate to do that. So you can learn that lesson through me having gone through it, or through yourself having gone through it, and not perpetuate it into the future. Okay, so some other things that are very important this month is, of course, one thing is that we've got the new moon in Leo. This is your month of your sun transit. This is your month of the new moon. And this is going to be on August 16th, 23 degrees. New beginnings in the energy of Leo. New beginnings in the energy of the first house, which is your physical body. And your reputation and your recognition and what you show the world and how the world sees you. So everybody, all the Leo placements get the goodies from this. And if you're close to that degree, you'll have the chance for even more notable outcomes or more power behind it. So we'll say 18 degrees through 28 degrees, so closer to 23 degrees. So that's going to relate to August 8th through 18th. And the closer to around August 13th, the more you get the kiss from that new moon. Now, of course, we've got the counterpart here, right? Because everything on this planet of duality comes in pairs of polarized pairs, right? And we can see that intrinsic duality in our experience. We can see that in the wheel, in the polarities in astrology as well. So all of the signs have their polar opposite. Those opposites tend to have things in common, but then things that oppose. And there's this very rich, complex relationship. And for Leos, that is Aquarius. So your opposing energy is Aquarius. You've got a full moon, 9 degrees of Aquarius on August 1st. Fullness, completion, fruition, drama, for better or worse, coming to friendships, groups, community, neighbors, internet-based projects, things like that. And specifically for Leo, this is in your partnership house. So there could be some specific drama with somebody in your life. They could be going through something. They could accomplish something great. They could go through something challenging, or you could go through it with them. So there's fullness and completion and drama, fruition happening there. Now, again, everyone can feel that. Those of you closer to 9 degrees, you'll see that more notably. We'll say 4 degrees to 14 degrees. So that's going to be like the last 5 or so days of July. And that's going to go to the first 5 or so days of August. And the closer you are to like July 31st, August 1st, the more impact you have from that full moon. We do have a series of trines this month, 3 with Mars and 1 with Mercury, all in Earth signs. August 1st, Mars trine Jupiter. August 16th, Mars trine Uranus. August 24th, Mars trine Pluto. And all of this centers around material, physical manifestation and potentials. Okay, so those chances of having things that you feel, that you know, that you think create into wonderful form are all intensified all throughout the month. And then August 10th, we actually have a Mercury, Earth-Mercury trine as well. So just a lot of chances for manifestation of physical, tangible things at this time. Look out in the days around August 22nd, when Mars in Virgo is going to oppose Neptune in Pisces. This could be even more confusing than the regular retrograde energy, deceptive, elusive, possibly security breaches. Just kind of look out for that at that time. And there are also some trines, the Sun and then Venus in Leo with Chiron. So this is very exciting, and this ties directly into your placement as well. That's August 12th and August 14th. We've got extra special kisses for your placements for really dramatic healing, physical healing, emotional healing, mental, spiritual, financial, relationship, whatever, you name it. There's the chance for healing to occur from these blessings from Chiron. If you like to know these dates, the dates to be awareful and careful, my top fave aspects of the months and the dates and how they may manifest, you will love to join my free VIP community. Go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter that gets you into the community, and you'll get my write-up 1 month early. That's more detailed. I usually brush upon some in the videos, but I go into more detail in the written version and give you a written overview of the month. And if you want to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach, either for your own personal purposes, to help you and yourself, your family, your friends, or if you want to do astrology professionally, that is my area of expertise. You can see my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course at beastropro.com, beastropro.com. And if you want more content from me, I do a ton of free stuff, which you can see at AnnieHelpsYou.com. That's the interface for all my free goodies. But if you want more content from me, and plus a year of archives of things that are still relevant, then go to AnnieBAstrology.com, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. For a very nominal subscription rate, you can join my secret star portal and access my Saturn and Pisces deep dive, my Jupiter and Taurus through the signs deep dive, my series on making tough astrological transits easier, and so much more. So you can see that at AnnieBAstrology.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.